tell you right now, the Clippers are incredibly confident that they can get him. They're expected to have cap space, not for just one, but two max players if necessary. But here's the interesting thing, and Max, you'll appreciate this because of all the things that you've said about Jerry West, who I just interviewed last week on my radio show for about 25 minutes.
Wouldn't take a compliment, would he?
Huh?
Jerry West, you try to. You tell him he's the greatest. He refuses to take a compliment.
He won't take it. He won't take it. But he gave a lot of praise to Lawrence Frank.
Jerry, you're great.
To Doc Rivers, Steve Ballmer, those guys. But here's the deal: Jerry West and the Clippers, they are not of this belief that they have to get two max players. To point to your point, Max, you could get a max guy and get a couple of nice other complementary pieces. That's how they're building this thing. Because when you look at the rough, like, for example, somebody like a Patrick Beverley, Molly, we don't look at...
look at that West Bill Ruff.
The lack of appreciation for somebody like a Patrick Beverley. This brother's a rough rider. Mm-hmm. He's a pit bull. He goes after you. He defends, and there's a level of toughness that you have to be on the court with somebody like him and have their respect. The Gallinaris of the world, the Montrells, you know, all of these guys, they got players. So I look at it and I say, I find it very difficult to believe that Kawhi, if I had to bet my money, sure, there's a possibility he could end up staying in Toronto because that's a really good situation Masai has built up there. And you got a country that supports you. But if I had to bet my money, I'm thinking Kawhi Leonard's going to the Clippers.
I think you're probably right. He's probably going to the Clippers, but I understand why Toronto's getting more confident. I don't think it's impossible that they can keep him, considering, you just mentioned it, you have a country behind you. If you're looking to be a singular kind of star, right, and you have all of Canada pulling for you, it's the one team up there, plus you're still an NBA star, that's a big thing. Now, if it was just on an okay team, that's one thing. But you were just talking about Jerry West. You know what Jerry West can do? And Marcellus Wiley, my former broadcast partner, told me this about Bill Parcells. And Marcellus stunk by the time Parcells was his coach, right? He was at the end. But he said Bill Parcells could go out on the field and look at you for a few seconds, know exactly what you can do and what you can't do. And he'd be right about it. He's like, damn, dude has sized me up exactly right away. Jerry West can do that. He can look at, I'm not saying in how many seconds he can do it, but he can look at a guy and know what he's looking at so he can take players, not off the scrap heap, but that aren't considered core players in other places and put together a healthy team on a healthy franchise. That's what the Clippers look like right now in LA. You know who else can do that? Masai Ujiri. And when you look at the pieces they already have and Ujiri's track record of trotting out winners every single year, I understand why Toronto's getting more confident.
Well, let me retort with this. If Toronto doesn't win the championship, right, then they would have gotten to the playoffs and they would have gotten a round or two. That's basically what would have happened. The Clippers wouldn't be that far off. So now if you're Kawhi, you're looking at that situation, viewing yourself as that kind of difference maker on this other team. And oh, by the way, while we sit here and we talk about Jerry West, and we certainly don't want to deny him the credit that he deserves because he's in that ear of Steve Ballmer, let's make sure we take a moment to give Steve Ballmer some credit in this respect. He signed Doc Rivers to an extension, not once but twice now, elevated Lawrence Frank to the president of basketball operations, told Doc to concentrate on basketball, brought Jerry West in as his right ear, and on top of it all, the man is worth. Jerry West corrected me because I kept saying that Steve Ballmer's worth over $22 billion. And he said, Steven, you got that about half right. He's actually worth over 40. I mean, for crying.
It pays to be the 10th best guy in the garage when they're starting a business like that.
So are you ready for this, Max? This man is a high-end competitor who wants to claim L.A. He wants his own arena. He doesn't want to share the Staples Center. The culture that they have built with the Clippers, they're clearly going for it all, and in the process are looking to squash the Lakers, all right? And they're the understudy. So if you're Kawhi, who really is not that, he's not about the sizzle. He just wants to grab his lunch pail, go to work, succeed, and go home. But you also wanted in Southern California weather. What's the ideal situation?
This is why.
And that's where it gets interesting.
This is why the people in any institution the institution is as strong as the people in it, right? When you look at the success now that the Clippers have and the way they're set up for success, when you look at the success the Miami Heat have had over the last 15 years, whatever it's been, why is that? Jerry West is now with the Clippers. Before that, they were on a treadmill in the second round playoff treadmill type team. Jerry West comes in. Now we're like, oh, look at this. Pat Riley goes, that's the Lakers. The Lakers' human resources are with the Clippers, are with the Heat, and where they went, you saw success. That's why the Clippers are right now in a position to challenge the Lakers and get a guy like Kawhi Leonard.
Big offseason
because of Jerry West.
Big offseason for the Clippers. We're going to learn a lot about the Clippers this summer.
Yeah.
My eyes are on them in Brooklyn.
Big offseason, period. Meanwhile, Toronto, second in the East, they take on the Knicks tomorrow. More to come on First Take, including who had the better crossover, CP3 or Lance. We get into it next. We have a great show planned for you Thursday. It's a Sweet 16 rematch when FSU takes on Gonzaga. Can Florida State upset the Bulldogs again? And will the Cinderella Oregon Ducks keep dancing with a matchup against #1 Virginia? Plus, do the Pacers have what it takes to end their road skid against the Thunder tonight in OKC? First Take, 10 a.m., ESPN.